Moving on to the first championship fight of the night, and this is a great matchup. So we're getting the rematch here. Rose Namajunas taking on Carla Esparza. Rose can be had at -200 as the favorite, Carla Esparza as the +170 underdog. These two originally fought a long time ago now. Carla Esparza got the submission finish. I believe it was in round 3. But since then, two different paths here. We've seen Rose Namajunas really take a giant leap forward. She is currently your champ, and she has looked great. She's very patient. She has really matured since that day. The only issue that I have is that while she did mature, the striking looks good. She's much more patient. She still has the power. Her wrestling has improved, but hasn't really improved all that much from a defense standpoint. That's where I'm a little bit worried here, because we just saw with Zhang Wei Li, she went into her most recent fight with Rose and was successful on 5 of 11 takedowns. And that worries me. That worries me a lot, because we know exactly what Carla Esparza is going to be looking to do. This is not going to be a stand-up war. That's not where Carla wants to be. That in all of her recent fights, pretty much in all of her fights in the UFC, she is just looking to wrestle, to take you down. She can rack up the control time. Absolutely no problems there. The ground and pound's pretty decent. We just saw against Yan Shonan, she was able to finish her with the ground and pound, which was very vicious. She has wins. Marina Rodriguez, Michelle Watterson, Alexa Grasso, Verna Handaroba. In those 5 fights alone, she has 17 takedowns. She's generally racking up 5+ minutes of control. So we're seeing two very similar fighters that we saw when these two first faced each other back in the day. Carla, the wrestler, Rose, more of the striker, who is more of the well-rounded fighter for sure. But I think she still kind of has that flaw. I don't think Rose has necessarily fixed the takedown defense, and that's something that Carla can definitely exploit. Is it enough, though? Is it enough for me to bet the 170 underdog money on Carla Esparza? I probably say no, and I say no because Rose does have that championship experience. She does have that 5-round experience. Carla has never actually gone 5 rounds. And Rose is a much more patient striker, which I think the first time around we saw Rose kind of loading up on some of her shots. That's where Carla was able to get her takedowns. And don't get me wrong, I think Carla is going to score takedowns in this fight. I think she will be successful. We'll definitely see over 10 attempts on her end. But I think as this goes on, I do think it still favors Rose going into the championship rounds, into rounds 4, into rounds 5. I think Rose is going to take this to decision. I think it's going to be very, very close here. I don't hate Carla Esparza as an underdog if that's a play that you want to do. I think the blueprint is there. I think if someone's going to beat Rose, it's not going to be a striker. It's going to be someone who is wrestling heavy. So if you want to take the underdog there, I don't blame you at all. I am going to take Rose Namajunas in this rematch. I think she wins a close, unanimous decision. And if I'm looking at a couple of plays here, am I confident in the -200 line? I am not, because I really do think there is a world where Esparza can steal 3 rounds and win this fight. Absolutely. But I think it's going to be razor close. I do think it's going to decision. So that's another bet that you can look at here. You can find the over 4.5 rounds at -205. That's a little bit juiced. I don't love it. But if you want to maybe go prop hunting a little bit, you can look at the Rose to win by decision. You can look at the Carla to win by decision. I don't think we see the finish here, but I am going to lean Rose in this spot. Again, don't love the -200. I won't be laying the -200. I will be leaning towards Rose in this one. But if you want to do a little bit of prop bets, if you do want to get betting on this fight, then I think you're looking at either fighter to win by decision. And I don't hate the over 4.5, but at -205, again, it's a little bit more pricey than I want it to be at.